In today's show, we're going to have a look at what may be actually one of the biggest traps occurring in crypto right now. We're going to have a look at the high time frames, the medium time frames, as well as the low time frames. And we're going to assess what the most important chart is in crypto right now and why most of you are missing it. And you should be looking at this chart. So smash the like button, hit the bell notification, and of course, subscribe to the channel. And let's get the show content on the road for the day. We'll start off over here with, of course, the banter bubbles, which on the hourly, you can still see prices attempting to push towards the upside. There was a very slight pullback that occurred yesterday. So some of the coins are red over there. We have some big moves over here on TON. We'll talk about that as well. We have XRP, something happening over there with one of their court cases and the settlement fee being officially completed and consequently XRP getting a bit of a pump, and then just the usual movers over here. So we'll have a look at that and a whole lot more today. Well, we'll also talk about the seasonality of the cycle, because some people believe that the market is currently dropping because Trump, which labeled himself the crypto president, is now tied with Kamala Harris over here. If you look at this, these are on poly markets, prediction markets over here. For the first time, Harris picking up massively, coming into the tied zone over there at 49%. And some people deem that to be bearish. But I can tell you that the major reason why the markets pulled back over the month of August and could still do the same thing into September is because of this chart over here. And this is not actually the most important chart right now. I'll get to that in just a moment, so stay tuned until the end. But if you look at this one over here, it is the S&P 500 monthly seasonality for all years from 1928 till now. And what this chart shows is, from a seasonal perspective, September is usually a pretty red month. So sometime between August, September, and October, we've spoken about this, you're looking for a major macro bottom within markets. And that's just typically seasonally happens because within the US summer months, a lot of these guys go on vacation, right? That run the markets, they go on vacation, so the liquidity is a little bit lower. They kind of close their books and off they go on vacation. And when they come back on, that's usually where you lead into that Santa rally towards the end of the year, which is why December is always one of the biggest months that you see within crypto as well as within the stock markets. And if you look at the BTC returns in August as well, you can see over here that August historically has been negative. And we're only 7 days into the month, right? So far, that has been the case, following obviously a little bit of a dump. What this means for you guys is that it presents a longer term opportunity. And when in doubt, you want to zoom out when it comes to your longer term portfolios and investment. And the biggest, best chart that you can be looking at when it comes to that longer term portfolio is going to be this one over here. And that is the M2 money supply, which has the S&P 500 chart in blue overlaid above that. And ultimately, this drives the liquidity into the market. And you can see as this trends onwards and upwards over time, that is where your markets pump, right? And we can go into more recent times, pretty much just zooming in from the COVID period over here. And you can see, of course, we had a big crash over there. And what happened? The Fed turned on the money printers. We spoke about them buying back the government bonds, initiating that program, which could bring in a lot of money into the markets over the coming months. And what did you see over here? Well, this was 2008, right? Money printer went on, price went up, and went into a bull market, continued into COVID over here. This is where the money printer really started to steamroll forward. And what happened to price next? Of course, price followed. And now we've seen the same thing, right? A little bit of a dip over here in the stock market. Now, typically, when you tied into the election years and politics, where the Democrats are obviously going to be looking to make people happy going into the polls, right? So there's a good chance that you see continued upticks over here in the M2 money supply. And so far, you can see the gradient is ever so slightly increasing towards the upside when you zoom in. And we spoke about it yesterday with the buybacks that are coming into play. Watch for other, ambiguous terminologies that they tend to use, which simply mean, when translated into layman's terms, quantitative easing. Quantitative easing is what led to these massive moves over here here again, if you go to 2020, when you started to see this aggressive uptick. Now, that's a real possibility of something that you may see, and therefore the summer doldrums or the lull period that you see within the stock market, as spoken about over here, as well as the August historically being relatively a bad month for crypto from a seasonality perspective, this all creates a major opportunity, and you want to jump onto the steam train before it actually picks up to 100 miles an hour towards the upside. One thing we can also look at, which we spoke about a lot this week, is the VIX, right? The volatility index. But if you delve into that data just a little bit further, as Seth Golden has said over here, he says after the VIX spikes to 45 plus and then it crosses back below 30, which happened yesterday, it always has proven to be a buying opportunity, and that's occurred since 1990, which is pretty much my entire life, right? Can there be more downside before the uptrend is renewed? Yes, they can, but nonetheless, you'll always be rewarded for buying once this signal fires off on the VIX. So there it is. There's the VIX. We looked at this a whole lot. We also correlated the chart and showed you what happens next on the S&P 500, lining this up with the seasonality, lining this up with the M2 money supply. It is all an opportunity, right? And we then went a step further and we looked at Bitcoin USD divided by the VIX. And what we noticed over here is that every time we've had one of these major VIX spikes, the BTC USD chart divided by the VIX also spikes into this trend line. And we found this trend line to absolute perfection over there. I know if you're on a mobile device, you may struggle to see it, but if you are able to and you zoom in, you have a wick that comes directly into this white line over here. And then we can go and look what happened at those time periods within the market on the normal USD chart. And this is what we found, right? The white vertical lines running down the screen over here represent that point in time where price hit this trend line, at least where this ratio chart hit the trend line. The Bitcoin divided by volatility index hits this trend line. And this is what happened in the USD pairing, right? It led to 8,462% upside move the first time that occurred, which was in 2015. The second time that occurred, which was in the COVID dump, we led to a 1,593% upside move. And this is now the third time that something like that has taken place. And the question is, if we do get the same kind of expansion towards the upside and we do go parabolic in the form of money printing, now again, this won't occur in one single day. I'd have to make that very clear. You could still theoretically go all the way down to $40,000 Bitcoin and even sweep that level. But when you zoom out, the high time frame perspective would still be that this holds validity and that over time in the coming months, you could see continuation higher. Well, your targets in mind over here have the 1.618 fib extension taken from the previous all-time high to the low over here, takes you to $101,804 Bitcoin. If you go as high as the 2.618, you're going to $155,000 Bitcoin, and the 3.618 in extreme scenarios, that level can be hit. That would be $208,223 per Bitcoin. Now, it's important to focus on the timing of these cycles. Right now, it's not the prettiest chart that I have over here. It was shared by 𝗕𝗕𝗕𝗕, but it's usually always 800 days between the markup phase, right? So if you go from previous bull high to where the next cycle peak is, 800 days, right? Look at the cycle before, 800 days. Look at the cycle before, 800 days. We're just moving right now into that zone over there. As he says, we are here. And that's where you start to look to go full vertical. So it's all in alignment with what we've currently seen. And if you take it a step further and you have a look at this chart over here, the Bitcoin price after halvings in 2016, there was a lot of chop before doing that vertical move, moving aggressively towards the upside. You had 182 days of sideways chop. In 2020, you had 161 days of sideways chop. And then in 2024, right now, we have 109 days into this chop so far. So again, all in alignment with that seasonal perspective. And I should probably zoom in over here just to show you the black line. That's currently where we're at, right? If you look at the timing cycles before that parabolic advancement, this is all par the course. It's completely normal to be chopping around at this time of the cycle from a seasonal perspective. So don't give up hope. Smash a like button. Share this video with a friend, right? Share it with multiple friends and family members so they don't come too late to the party. And then also hit that bell notification. Not only will you be helping other people, but you also help me out because it gets the show content moving. So We can look at it on this chart over here as well. We're currently in cycle 5, which is going to be the pink line. What happens if we look at it as a comparison from cycle low to right now as a return on investment? How far are we into the cycle? If we throw on cycle 4, that's the green line over there. You can see again, showing we in that choppy period before mega expansion. Cycle 3 over here is going to be the orange one. This one obviously went a whole lot higher, but same thing, right? We're right in that vicinity where you expect over the next couple of months, you should have a grinding up and then extreme acceleration towards the end of the cycle. And we can put on cycle 2. Of course, cycle 1 and 2 are going to be major outliers. If we put on cycle 1, there it is very, very aggressive because Bitcoin was a super low market cap and very, very new in that time period. Now, one big driver is going to be the DXY, right? The dollar index, which is simply the US dollar measured against a basket of other currencies all around the world. And usually when this goes down, this is where we see the big moves, right? So we hit that level, we're looking for the breakdown, and we spoke about this happening probably over the course of September, October is where you really start to see the breakdown, and that would coincide with a major bottom for Bitcoin. Now, breaking below the gray box is very, very significant because not only are you losing this parallel channel's mid-range, which held for a very, very long period of time. I think you guys can all see it. The orange line over here that's riding towards the upside is the bottom. That's the top side over there. And then you have your mid-range coming into the middle over here, which also just so happens to line up with the gray box being the range high. So double confluence if you can lose this level. It will take time because we have lost it previously, and you can see those were fake breakdowns over there. Price obviously spiking back and getting back above those zones. So we need to see continued acceptance below this level, and then we should start to see a deeper breakdown. And I believe that is what will lead to what I call those big bad moves, right, towards the upside. So with that being said, the recent price action that we've seen within crypto is incredibly rare. Now, I know a lot of seasoned traders out there who I've been speaking to have been in the markets for 40 years. And what they've told me is that they haven't seen the recent price action ever occur within Bitcoin. That price action is referred to as an island reversal, right? What is an island reversal? Very, very simply put, price pushes up over here, you get to 0.1, you come back down over here, setting in a higher low, you then gap up into 0.3, and then the expectation would be that you're looking to buy the dip on 0.5 over here, which is then going to be the next higher low, and you're looking for trend reversal and continuation in that direction. But what happened over here? We gapped towards the upside, then we gapped back towards the downside, and this leaves the island, right? If you look at the gap in between over here, the top section over here is like an island floating on the water, and that is the island reversal. There it is in real time, right? You have Bitcoin pushing towards the upside, and I can probably use one of these charts over here. There we go. We can run it through the middle over there. There you go. That is your island reversal with the big, big gap over here in between. Maybe we'll change the color over there to make it nice and easy to see. So with that being said, what now? What are we going to do? Well, this becomes a major resistance area over here, which price needs to get back above, closing that gap. There's a high probability of the time that you'll fill these gaps, which makes this a very, very important level of resistance to reclaim. That being between $59,000 and all the way up to $62,000. This is your gap. Okay, so island reversal in play, first time ever in Bitcoin's history that something like this has occurred. And this is why so many different players got trapped, right? Why did they get trapped? Well, a lot of people were very, very bearish over here. Price spiked towards the upside, and thus they had to chase price as it came into these highs over here, getting overly bullish, and then price started to come down. A lot of people, including myself, were looking to buy into this higher low territory over here between $60,000 and $62,000. And what did we do? We gapped straight towards the downside in one candle. So you trap the bulls, you trap the bears, and the question is, who's going to be trapped next? And that's why I asked you, where are we within the cycle? Let me know in the comment section. I'd love to know your thoughts. This is the Wall Street cheat sheet as you move through these various different phases of disbelief, hope, optimism, belief, thrill, euphoria. Then you have the complacency bounce, anxiety, denial, panic, capitulation, and anger. And the cycle begins all over again. You can see this throughout markets, even on multiple different time frames. So let me know, where are we within the cycle? I would absolutely love to know where you guys think we are. Start dropping it in the comments, and then we'll review towards the end. So some of you say hope, optimism, belief. Some of you are in the anger phase. Interesting, very, very interesting. Probably depending on when you joined into the space, you're each going to have your own various different opinions. Maybe I'll move this image towards the end of here when we're near the end to summarize, and I'll let you know where I think we are. One thing that I can tell you is if you want to eliminate some of the risk in the market, being a professional trader is essentially being a professional risk manager, right? You need to be able to manage your risk accordingly and understand that there is never a guarantee in markets. They say that only two things are guaranteed, death and taxes, right? Those are the only two guarantees. There's no guarantee that price will go up, no guarantee that price will go down, and consequently, you have to manage your risk. Now, there is one useful tool that can help many of you do this with low account sizes, right? So all you need to do is risk very, very small amounts of money, and the answer to that is going to be BitFunded, right? So we're not sponsored by them or anything like that, just to make it very, very clear. It's just a super useful tool, which we recently found. And previously, this has been only really available, in Forex markets. It's only just hit the crypto markets. And what BitFunded does is essentially you pay an audition fee. And if you can beat the challenge, you have to get 8 to 10% profit, depending on which challenge you get. There's limited drawdowns that you're allowed. When you pass the challenge, they'll give you your funding, right? So you can get anywhere from $5,000 to $100,000 in funding, and that will cost you anywhere from $49 to attempt the challenge to $599. Now, it depends how proficient you are in trading. I really recommend that each and every single person at least attempt this, because it keeps you honest and makes you much safer with your trading so you don't lose. Now, the difference over here is that if you were trading with $5,000 or $10,000 and we had this island reversal trap, most of you would have been over leveraged, and most of you would have got absolutely rinsed and probably liquidated that entire account. And I can say that even if you had a stop loss. Why do I say that? So if you took this trade over here and you had a stop loss in play, here's the long position, you're looking to long into this region, there we go, and your stop loss was below. When the market moves very, very quickly towards the downside, we'll probably just make that a bit brighter. There we go. When the market moves very, very quickly towards the downside, and there's a mass liquidation event like we saw over here, which was $1 billion worth of liquidations, there's no guarantee your stop loss will even get hit. In this instance, if you were actually trading on a platform like this, you're trading with as if you have the $5,000 or $10,000 or $25,000 worth of capital available. But when a price wicks through and does not trigger your stop loss, how much do you lose? You lose only the challenge fee, the audition fee, which in this instance would have been $49. So use the link below if you do want to join over here. Use the link below. It says over here, BitFunded. It's a two-step process. Click step 1 over here. Come through to this page. You'll register. Now, on this page over here, you'll see it says a verification code, right? There is no verification code or invitation code over here. Simply just first name, last name, create your password, register. Once you've done that, close that. Come back over here to point number 2, because when you use this link, point number 2 over here, and you use this link over here, it will open up and give you multiple different options, which is this. You won't have the low option of 5,000 if you go any other route. I recommend everyone at least tries the $49 route. Okay, so we'll revisit again the Wall Street cheat sheet. Start dropping there in the comments. I'll visit that towards the end and let you know where I think we are. But high time frame, what's going on over here? What's the expectation? Well, prices below the key monthly level over here, which is very, very significant. It's level to level. You either gain a level or you lose a level. And once a level's lost, you trade the range, right? This is the trading range. It's a big range on the monthly scale, which means that price pushing down into this 40K region is still totally in the realm of possibility. Now, we haven't closed the weekly candle or the monthly candle yet, but if you can see the monthly candle close green over here, or even back above the top side at 62,600, that will be incredibly bullish. On the downside, if that does occur, remember, based on the timing of everything I've shown, that becomes a wonderful longer term opportunity to accumulate a little bit more in anticipation of that next blow off phase, right? So something major to look at over there. The other thing we can look at is Bitcoin on the weekly time frame, which you can see so far, this is putting in a very, very strong candle. The last candle that we saw that looked like that was this one over here. Yes, you came back a little bit further down to full 50% of that that wick. And I still think that's a total possibility that you could come and fill some of this efficiency, which means next week maybe a move deeper down into the 53K region. And that's why I wouldn't rush too aggressively into positions, right? Take your time over here. Right now, the risk is still towards the downside because we're below the 21 exponential moving average and we've deviated the top side of the range. And as I've shown you over here, the monthly chart, well, we have lost that level. But expect volatility following big moves like this, where both the bulls and the bears try to feel things out to determine which way things are going to go next. I'm going to show you on the daily time frame the range levels that are starting to form. But if you do see bulls turn this green and you break back above these key levels again, 62K over here, well, that's going to start to look incredibly bullish. And in that instance, this wick towards the downside will make it look like there was a major bear trap that occurred over here. Continuing on, liquidity is stacked towards the upside on the monthly time frame, on the 3-day time frame, and on the daily time frame. You can see the range that's forming over here between $54,000 and $58,000. So I'm viewing this as the potential to create a macro range, with this being the lows that get defended over here. So this region over here, which is coming in at about that $50,500. And then, of course, the range highs are still going to be the resistance levels over here, which price failed to get above. You do have a massive amount of resistance over here, with the 50% level of this move coming down being at 59,558. Big level to get across. Also, you have your 200 MA and EMA at that level. So ultimately, even though we're looking at a potential for a descending broadening wedge, there's still some clear levels that you need to break above, right? Here's your descending broadening wedge. You have your extreme fear that came back into the market. Remember, sell the greed, buy the fear. I say it again, sell the greed and buy the fear. Big level to reclaim over here. You're pushing into that resistance right now. We don't have enough information yet to determine whether this is going to be a V-shaped recovery or whether we're going to range. I've said because markets range more than they trend, well, naturally that would put the probabilities being higher that you are going to see continued chop like this, at least over the coming days and weeks, right? If price pushes above and starts to close all the way at the top here like this, well, that opens up a different picture, right? Then you're going to be looking to buy every dip that comes back down into that 58K region, and then you're going to start to see a bit of a V-shaped recovery like that. But only time will tell. Okay, so 4-hour time frame, you can see also overhead resistance, $62,000, as well as $59,000, this level that we're at right now. Bulls have a lot of work to do to get price above. We're simply just tracking the high highs and high lows. So there it is. This is the level to defend at $54,285. Okay, so where are we within the cycle? Well, I think that we're probably somewhere it doesn't really depict it perfectly. I don't believe that we're in the complacency phase where we're going to go into another bear market. I think that we most likely somewhere here between, this hope and optimism, somewhere between this hope and optimism in a further extended cycle where you get a little bit of a bear trap. I don't believe that, well, for the last few months, it's been about 5 months now of consolidating. I don't believe that for the last at least 3 months that we've experienced much belief, thrill, or euphoria. We probably at the most have got into the optimism phase. That's at least my personal opinion. This is the most likely outcome. If you could extend this a little bit further down, if you look at my cursor for like a bit of a bear trap towards the downside and a spike up, I think that's most likely where we're at, right? So guys, also, I really encourage every single person in terms of the risk management lessons, in terms of how to trade the range, how to trade the trend. I really recommend join Whale School. It's entirely free, right? 100% free. You don't have to pay a single cent to join. You will deposit $100 into one of the exchanges, but that's yours to trade with, right? No one's going to take that from you. You can withdraw it anytime that you want. It's yours to simply trade with. That gets you entered in, because otherwise we have a whole lot of bots that enter in, because we often do, giveaways to the people that join into Whale School. You have 13 days, 4 hours left to join. Use the opportunity while the market is still slow. If you haven't done it, even if you have done it, do it again, right? Many of the alumni students have done this 3 or even 4 times because they get value every single time. Remember, we also do live workshops, which if you join, you get additional alpha once a week. I'll sit with you and you can ask me questions, and I do a live trading workshop with you where I bring new information that goes far above and beyond the course content. So the link is below for Whale School as well. Let's continue. Sol ETH ripping, right? We looked at this yesterday. Big push towards the upside, absolutely pumping over there. And then if you look over here at Solana BTC, well, same thing, pushing up nice and strong, but really ETH is struggling, right? ETH is in big trouble over here. And one of the reasons that Solana is so bullish is, of course, because of the, let's call it a meme coin super cycle, because that's what it's looked like at the moment, right? Most of the memes have been on Solana, and most people want to be in and out of memes quick, and they don't want to risk too much money, $5, $10, maybe $50, $100. And because of that, they can't do it on ETH. It's just way too expensive. So the chain is absolutely ripped. If you look at the price action over here, we held the 120, looking to get above 160. And if you can flip and hold that level, that opens up the trading range all the way back into the $200 region. And we've seen new highs now for Solana stablecoin markets, increasing towards the upside. In just the last 8 days, there's been $300 million worth of inflows into the ecosystem. And with Solana having been, just at $150, there's actually more stable coins now in the market than what there was when Solana was trading at $210. So more stable coins, more liquidity, bullish. Solana probably continues to be a top performer. And then if I can leave you also with one word of wisdom, one sentence of wisdom, it's going to be winners take all, guys. Winners take all. The winner takes all. Solana being the winner will most likely continue to be the winner. It's a trend in motion. Winner takes all. Remember that. So ETH is not the winner right now, right? Look at ETH absolutely getting smashed again against Bitcoin. It can't even outperform Bitcoin in this cycle. And a lot has changed over here in terms of the markets, with Ethereum previously being the darling child, safe play against Bitcoin too long. Now it seems like most people are trading against Solana. And we'll have a look at that, right? I'll showcase as well representing other charts against Solana and show you the significance of that. USD wise, it is still at a very significant level. The low over there cleared out the yearly open, which is significant. You sweep the yearly open, you reclaim above the yearly open, you hold that level, and theoretically that is the long trade over there. But now everyone's too scared to long Ethereum. And there is some good news when it comes to ETH, right? The good news is it's no longer a security, because nobody could possibly have an expectation of profit from it anymore. All right. That's literally the types of comments that are coming out, but it is from somebody that calls himself Clout Man. So, of course, guys, it's just a joke. Casper coming to Kraken. Some bullish news on Casper, so we'll probably have to have a look at Casper. It's not the only one that I want to look at. You guys know this is also one of my absolute top picks, right? I've been adding a lot to Casper even as price goes up, right? Create a bigger and bigger position over there. You want to buy it ultimately when the market's telling you that you're right. Prices are going higher. You don't want to buy when something is weak and going down lower and lower and lower and lower. You want to buy as the market moves up and proves that you're correct. So I've been adding to that position. You can see over here, I add a little bit more and I'll send that into cold storage, but I add a little bit more onto my BitGet account over here. And then also, again, for those of you who want to take advantage on BitGet over here, they do actually have an amazing opportunity, which is this. If you are a new user, there's a giveaway bonus for you. If you've never used BitGet before, you want to open up another account, right? If you're a first-time trader, you can get 500 USDT worth of trading bonuses for any trade over 50 USDT. That's crazy. That's a 10x return, right? So sign up, deposit $50 and take a couple of trades, and you can get up to 500 USDT worth of trading bonuses as they suggest over here. And the reward actually goes as high as $50,000, obviously, if you're depositing more. So it says over here, all you need to do, sign up with the BitGet link, which is in the description below. There it is in the description below. Go through to BitGet. Where's BitGet over here? Let's just see. Okay, there's BitGet over there. Sign up. then you come through to that page. And it will ultimately assist you with that, right? Take a trade of 50 or more and you get the bonus. It ends by the 31st of August, right? So do it now while you still can. Other news, TON eventually hit Binance. So, in the Discord, we've been talking a whole lot about the TON ecosystem plays. And that was why I told you, get your TON wallets ready, right? This is why we started to load up on some of these coins over here. So Binance will be listing TON, right? So we can have a look at TON. We can have a look at a whole bunch of coins there. Solana up 7%, continuing to push. Let's quickly review Casper, and then we'll go to TON and some of those TON coins. So here's Casper, still very, very bullish. Now, personally, I would love it if Bitcoin did come down one more time and take Casper with it, and I could allocate even more over here at 14. My allocation was down at 13 when this wick was down here, but I would like to deploy a little bit more dry powder since I now know the news that's coming with Kraken. And not only Kraken, but there's many different exchanges that are going to be looking to list Casper. It hasn't even hit the northern markets yet. The US territory hardly have exposure to Casper unless they bought it, through a DEX. So one to look at over there. Let's go to TON. TON up, of course, no surprise, 17% over there. Look at that, absolutely perfect. Hit the range low over there, big push up, but now you are coming into resistance. I would not be a buyer of TON at this level. This is 650. When, of course, when these Binance listings hit, oftentimes you can see a massive candle, guys, huge candle, but then it does get faded. So please don't forget that. Binance listings, once it's been announced and it's actually listed, quick spike towards the upside, and then it usually bleeds out. So please just be careful of that. We've been taking other positions, right? Things like resistance dog. That was one of them. So we can go to resistance dog, up 24% over here, up to $44.3 million market cap. We're looking for this also coming into resistance now, fair enough, but we're looking for this to break into the range. If we can start to clear above 53, that will be a great opportunity. We bought on the dip over here. So already just from the entry levels over there, we're up almost 100% just on that resistance dog position alone. Now, we can actually represent some of these coins against a standard in this instance because Solana has been one of the best performers. Let's make Solana the standard. Usually we measure things against Bitcoin, previous cycles against ETH, but since ETH is not doing great, let's measure against Solana. And now we can start to have a look at some of these coins and the performance that they've had over the last couple of months, right? And what we've seen over here is that ultimately BTC against Solana has underperformed, right? If you look at the percentages on the right over here, it's pretty much all down. If you look at the chart as well, it's pretty much all down. It had a little bit of a move over here and then immediately got faded. If you go and look at some of the other coins like ETH, well, that looks even worse, right? Getting smashed over there against Solana. Let's have a look at, so Sol versus Sol, of course, is going to be a flat line, right? Just to give you a perspective over there. Dogecoin, straight down against Solana. XRP, straight down against Solana. Terrible. Let's look at the Charles Hoskinson's favorite coin, Cardano. Even worse. One of the worst coins, straight down. So when there's a coin that's outperforming, always ask yourself, whatever that other coin is that you're looking to buy spot with, right? Ask yourself, well, how does that coin actually perform against the top performers like Solana or Casper, right? Those have been some of the top performers traditionally. So if you want to buy AVAX, is AVAX a good buy or should you just buy Solana? Well, this chart tells you just buy Solana because what is this chart doing? It's nosediving straight down. Let's see, what are some other coins that people want to add into their portfolio? How's about Chainlink, right? A lot of bullish things, CCIP, all these things going on. Chainlink, an Oracle solution integrated with pretty much every project in the world. Is Chainlink a better buy than Solana? Should I swap all my money into Chainlink? This chart tells me, hell no, straight down, right? Nosediving. Let's have a look at a couple of other ones over here. Other favorites, right? Should we buy NEO over Solana? Let's see, straight down. Here's going to be an interesting one. Should we buy Casper or should we buy Solana? Interesting, right? Interesting. Of course, if you got into Casper in the early phase, outperformance, right? What is Casper and Solana doing right now? Well, consolidating in a range. This one's pretty flat. And consequently, that is why I hold both. I would love to add a little bit more into my Casper position. So something to look at over there. Let's do one or two more over here. Let's see what other crowd favorites do we have. Matic, Sandeep's Matic. Let's see Sandeep's Matic. Terrible. Bro, this is you worse than Charles Hopkinson. How do we say his name? Charles Coin at least looks better than this. Matic straight down, getting absolutely wrecked over there. Let's see one more. Let's look at, Aptos. Now, I watched an interview recently with 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗧. He believes that Aptos could potentially in the future completely outperform and overtake Solana. That is a big statement. That is a huge statement. What does the chart say? That's the question. I wouldn't fade someone like 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗧 over the long term, but I would use the chart to help me to time the switch, right? Aptos, Solana, terrible. Straight down, getting absolutely wrecked. So we'll watch for a divergence or a change of character over here on the Aptos Solana valuation chart. Right now, this one is pretty much going straight towards the downside. I see somebody says WIF to Sol. That's actually a really good one because WIF is the meme coin on Sol. So I'm actually very, very curious what this one will look like. Interesting, right? Of course, initial days, immediate, amazing pump towards the upside. When the market starts to go a little bit more risk off, then it's a winner-take-all scenario. This one comes down, and that means Solana is outperforming WIF. But if we go full on into risk-on mode again, expect that probably WIF will continue towards the upside, right? So very, very interesting. Think about it. It's a little bit of perspective for you. Total 3, we still need to see this overall increasing towards the upside in order for money and capital to come back into the markets, break back into the yellow, break the downsloping trend line, consolidate into this, and then you can look for a breakout above the previous order block that led to the bear market, at least for the altcoin sector, right? Total 3 removes Bitcoin and Ethereum and just looks at the other altcoins. Number 3 on CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko, all the way down to the bottom. So a lot to look at over there. Look at that Bitcoin dominance rallying towards the upside. We're really reaching those extremes, right? It is caught in a rising wedge pattern over here, which is traditionally a bearish pattern. But again, as I do teach in Whale School, guys, remember, join Whale School. As I teach in there, there's an order of priority. There's a priority list that you need to look at, and it's going to be trend and horizontals above chart patterns, right? That's more important. Trend up, horizontals, major supports are below, right? A little bit of resistance coming up over here. Therefore, it's more bullish than it is bearish, despite being in a bearish chart pattern. The chart pattern is last in the order of significance or the priority list. So join Whale School if you do want to learn more about that. And then also, for those of you in the Cybertruck competition, remember this is based on volume. We will be doing the giveaway in 38 days and 5 hours. Use the link below if you want to participate. And then I guess we can take a couple of altcoin requests, right? What do you guys want to have a look at? Let's see. I'm quickly checking the comment section over there. So first one that I see over there is Brett, right? Let's go to Brett. Up 8%, not too bad, but it's got a lot of work to do. Underside resistance coming in just around that 10 cents region, 0.1075. And then after that, the order block that led to the breakdown, 13. That's going to be the next major resistance, which meets that downsloping trend line. So Injective, let's have a look at Injective. Also one of the crowd favorites. This one failed that range low, right? Absolutely smashed over there. Lower lows, lower highs. This one's just bleeding out, but you're coming into this order block that led to the breakout. You really want to hold this level. You don't want to break below pretty much the wick low that occurred over here around that $14 region. You don't want to break that. Okay, MOG, let's go to MOG. How is MOG doing? Okay, MOG. It's always easier to search it because now my meme coin list is absolutely massive. Okay, there we have it, MOG. Okay, MOG starting to push, holding the parallel channel, bouncing off that level, but you have a massive inefficiency over here, right? So I just think very high probability that you'll come back and fill this. There's so many digits over here, but just look at 50% of the wick that occurred over there. Good chance that you're going to come and grab some of that. Let's look at Mantra as well, real world assets. This has been one of the top performers. So It's doing okay. You got this upsloping trend line over here, which is going to be major support if you do happen to come down into the, if you create new lows, 82 cents. Otherwise, if you do the wick thing at the 50%, 92, right? 92 cents over there. Reclaim back above $1, hold that level for multiple days, and that looks like a major low and higher low continuation onwards and upwards. All right. Okay, what else? I can look at XRP. Maybe there are some XRP fans out here that are hopefully short-term traders, you know, just looking to milk the range. Here's your XRP chart. Okay, so very, very choppy. I mean, it just literally ranges. So you can just simply grab this over here. I mean, this has been your recent range, right? In the pink box. So you are approaching the range high. I really don't think that this is a long-term bullish chart. I would be very, very careful. Let's actually go back to this over here just to showcase this. I think we did do XRP, but let's have a look at XRP. There we go. XRP Solana straight down. What about XRP against Bitcoin? More chart history. Also straight down, is getting a little bit of a move over here. XRP total market cap also down, right? XRP ETH. Recently, it's actually been outperforming ETH. That's how bad ETH's done. Okay, let's go to SUI. All right, SUI. Okay, there's SUI. Okay, big level to reclaim. You broke the downsloping trend line. You got another throwback into this level over here. I think I mentioned this yesterday on SUI. If I were looking to get along on SUI, I would honestly be patient, right? Because this is still downtrending in recent times. So I've moved on to the 4-hour chart. I'd really wait for a complete shift, right? A complete shift like this. You need to see, it's going to take time. You need to see momentum shift, high highs, high lows. It will take time. Smoking chicken fish. Yes, let's have a look at smoking chicken fish. I do wonder how that's doing. Where is it? Here we go. Smoking chicken fish. Okay, maybe the hype is over. It did seem like peak euphoria to me when it was trading up here, but this is your level. We can definitely make it a little bit more clear over here. Okay, so I'd be looking at that. Here's your key range low, 0.03305. That's the level to watch. Maybe you're forming a little bit of a higher low over here, and you got your resistance line running towards the top side. Okay, Rune. Let's take a quick look at Rune. How's Rune doing? Let's move back onto the daily. Okay, you are holding that level. There you go. You are holding that level. This is the level to hold. You want to see it defended. Similar to what I said with SUI, though, you do need to see a bit of work done over here, because at the end of the day, this is still lower lows and lower highs. So probably going to push up, find a bit of resistance, maybe a lower high again, come back down, creates a high low, and then you're looking for the shift, right? And this shift in momentum will probably take a couple of months on a whole lot of these coins. So again, guys, a reminder, use BitFunded, right? Join in on the BitFunded challenge over here. You're only risking $49, literally next to nothing, $49. If you can pass the challenge, then you get funded with $5,000 to trade with at other people's money, right? Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad, is the one that said, use other people's money to get rich when you can. Don't take on, credit card debt and stuff, but use other people's money to get rich when you can. That's it from me. I'll see you all on the next one. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And for Whale Room, I'll see you on the live session in a couple of hours. Cheers for now.